I think for the time being, that should get everything taken care of. All right, we are live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. It is Peak of the Week Wednesday. It is 10 minutes, just before 10 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek with a quick update of what's going on with the forecast. And as of tonight, we've got some scattered showers out there, but beyond that, really just not that much more. We did have some flood advisories in effect. Those went out the window about an hour ago, and we'll continue to see the potential of more showers and thunderstorms in the semi-near future. But if everything works, there is the potential of getting some activity of drier conditions in here. Going to take about a week or so to get there, but again, we're going to be seeing less, hopefully, in the way of rainfall relatively soon. Drop any weather reports you have into the comments section. Again, we're live on YouTube and on Twitch and on Facebook Live, so if you have anything out there, or just say hello in the comments section, and we'll pass that along as we go through. For those of you who can't stick around for the overnight forecast, heading out for a late night nosh, it is going to be muggy and warm, and we will see some pretty humid conditions, not only for the next couple of days, but pretty much into the upcoming weekend as we switch from May into June. And we also see these mild temperatures continuing back in the high 60s to low 70s, and won't be rain all the time, but I would take the umbrella or some form of rain protection with you just to be on the safe side out there. Thanks to all of our talented photographers out there. Didn't get a title with this particular issuance from News 12 viewer Helen Newsom, but a beautiful view from Lafayette, Georgia. That's our HEP heating weather window picture of the day. And again, if you've got pictures out there, we'd love to see what you're seeing. No sign of the otters at the Tennessee Aquarium tonight. Wednesday, the last Wednesday of May, is World Otter Day. So if you're celebrating that with a visit to the otters, not that much going on. Might be one of them taking a nap back there beyond the rope or whatever that is. If you've got pictures, again, please send them in to us at pictures@WDEF.com. You can drop them to social media in the comments section, or again, you can just go to our website, WDEF.com/photos, drop yours off, and see what everybody else have been submitting for the picture of the day. Not that much going on in the way of rainfall, and you can get stuff like this happening from time to time to where you will get a slew of rain reports all around a particular area, and you will then see little, if anything, taking place at the official recording station. So at the airport in Chattanooga, 0.05 of an inch, and that's it. We have now gotten a surplus of rainfall for the month of May, but we are now, from a couple of days ago, we have now cut our deficit in half to where we are now just about 4.5 inches, 4.5 to 5 inches below normal. We still have a long ways to go, no question about that, but at least we are making some progress in getting our rain gauge filled back up again. Almost exactly where we should be on the high temperature for the day, about a category above our normal low temperature, and nowhere close to our record low that hasn't been broken or set since 1961. So that, again, a little bit on the milder side out there throughout the area. Temperatures right now not bad as the game finishes up at Erlinger Park, the lights of the stadium with haze and some moisture hanging in the air. But as I made my way back to work tonight after the dinner break, we did not see anything in the way of rain coming down, so hopefully they got all of the game in. It was quite a ball game from what I heard on the radio not too long ago. So for right now at the airport, it's almost exactly where it was temperature-wise before I left for a spot of dinner. Temperatures back in the mid-70s, calm winds. When you start getting the dew point temperature and the air temperature close together, that means the relative humidity goes way high. Now, if those numbers were far apart, it'd be very dry, but lower 70s on the dew point, that is tropical and decently uncomfortable air mass out there. So we don't see much of anything in the way of drier weather anytime soon. Air quality was pretty good for earlier this afternoon into this evening. Got it up to a 45, a good green category. Main pollutants were micron particle pollution. That's smoke, soot, and exhaust. The larger particle pollution, dust, pollen, and soil, was much lower. The only other larger amount of pollutants was ozone, and that also was in the green or good level. So overall, doing pretty good out there. Allergies also not that much of a problem. Mold spores are low. They were much higher a couple of weeks ago. Likewise, tree, grass, and weed pollens all down to the low category. So if you have any problems with any of those, you might be seeing some discomfort, but not a lot going on at this point. Radar is pretty clear. We don't have a great deal to talk about near 10 o'clock Eastern time. We are seeing again a few scattered showers down across portions of central Georgia between Atlanta, Macon, and down toward Columbus. We've got a few showers just to the west of I-65 and the Huntsville area. Those are drifting back to the north and will be making their way over the river here in the next hour if they survive. We do have more showers developing up around Nashville, the Plateau, and over toward about the Cumberland Gap area in North Tennessee, over by the Kentucky state line. That is where we see the best potential of rainfall, and some of that might make its way into the area overnight. Could be some rumbles of thunder, but we're just not picking up much of anything as of right now. Leftover showers dwindling over western North Carolina, Polk, Bradley, Fannin, Gilmer, Murray counties, seeing some activity here, but beyond that, there's really just not that much happening for right now. So the trend will continue across the area for the next several days as we see the storm system sitting back to our west. It doesn't look like much for right now, but in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, this swirl of energy that we're taking a look at here over the Red River Valley, that is going to make its way over closer to us, and that means, again, we will be looking for the potential of more rain, more thunderstorms. But for right now, it's just widely scattered, a little bit less so than what we saw last night. We did have a couple of severe thunderstorm watches in effect for the Virginias. That appears to have gone by the wayside just south of Richmond. There's some heavier weather there, but that really is about all that we have to speak of in the way of problems. Severe weather does not appear to be a threat at this time anywhere in the near future, so hopefully it stays that way. Taking a look at the flood situation, there are no flood warnings or anything else in effect. There was a flood advisory for Bradley and Polk counties earlier tonight, but other than that, again, there's just really little, if anything, happening across much of the region. If you're just tuning in and joining us, welcome to the show. Again, we're live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook tonight. If you'd like to say hi, drop your hellos into the comments section. If you have a question about the forecast, drop those into the comments section. We'd be glad to try to answer them, and if we can't, we'll send you to where we can hopefully find an answer for you. The only dumb question is one that is not asked, so we try to make certain we help you out on that as much as possible. Right now, we have a dying front trying to make its way through that area of low pressure developing here, and several more days of the same thing to where we see more potential of showers and thunderstorms developing. These storm systems out west will not be having an impact on us at least anytime soon. Most of that's going to be driven north by what is called an omega block high, and that is where we could see some very hot weather back to the west. But for us, not that much going on. Low to mid 60s, a few high 60s possible across northeast Alabama, mid 60s for north central Georgia, and into and around the area of northwest Georgia. Could be some mid to high 60s taking place there. Western North Carolina, a couple of 50s, but mainly lower 60s. And southeast Tennessee, numbers back into the mid to high 60s. Relatively close to where we should be for this time of the year, but otherwise, again, not doing too bad out across much of the region for this evening. So not seeing a lot of cooler air except in the higher elevations, and that's about all that we can see for cooler weather, so to speak, right now. Important number to take a look at because in the next few days, starting Monday, it is going to be the start of hurricane season in the Atlantic, the Gulf, and into the Caribbean. And if you're heading to the East Coast, the Gulf Coast, the Caribbean, Florida, any place like that, Texas Gulf Coast, Louisiana coast, that is where you're going to have to really watch what is going on. With the warmer waters out there, a storm can spin up from nothing to a major life-threatening hurricane in less than a day. We've seen that happen in numerous locations. So again, no matter where you're going to an ocean coastline, please be weather aware. I can't overemphasize this enough because, again, we're getting into that season where we really have to pay attention to what may be coming our direction. Now, as of tonight, the good news that we have is that nothing going on in the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean. There is currently nothing happening, so we do not have anything developing here. But again, the potential from what we are looking at right now is that we will see less in the way of activity as of tonight. And for the Eastern Pacific, that is a much different story. We'll tell you about that coming up here in just a little bit. Mark Simpson on Facebook, has any of this rain made an impact on our drought conditions? That's a very good question, and the answer to that actually will be coming up tomorrow. Not trying to put it off or make an excuse. The U.S. Drought Monitor updates weekly on Thursdays, and the latest update will be coming up tomorrow. We'll take a look if I can bring that website up here while I'm monitoring all this other information. I'll bring that up here for you. Now, a lot of websites out there that are there for clickbait, eyeball catching, stuff like that, have already begun with the way out there, way OTT type headlines saying a killer category 6, which, by the way, is not a thing. Killer hurricane is on the way for the Carolinas coming up into the beginning of June. Well, no forecast can give you that precise information that far out. Now, according to only some of the models, we are looking at the potential of something developing off the Yucatan Peninsula between Jamaica, Cuba, into and around the areas between the Gulf and the Caribbean. Now, this is important to take a look at because this is going to be moving right over the area of what is called the loop current that goes through the Caribbean up through the Gulf of Mexico between the Keys and northern Cuba, and this is where we could see this system, and it has happened before with numerous storms just in the last couple of years, to where we could be looking at the potential of a rapidly developing system if it gets going, if the conditions are right, if the winds are steering things in the right direction. That, again, is what we are going to be looking for right now, to see the possibility of something in the way of a new storm system developing. Now, does this guarantee a tropical storm? No. Does this guarantee a hurricane? No, it does not. But it does, again, give us some indication that we will be seeing the potential of maybe the possibility of something shower and thunderstorm related developing into, not tonight, but for the next week or so, 7 days out. Might be something developing for the Gulf. So again, from Corpus Christi to the Keys, Jamaica into New Orleans, Cancun up to the northern rim of the Gulf. Might want to keep an eye on this. Again, it's not a guarantee, and we will, again, be watching this with a lot of interest, especially since the waters in and around the Caribbean, buoy markers here are showing just at to above 80 degrees, and that is perfect temperature to form storms and to get them going. That extra area of heat is very good for the development of tropical storms, and you can see a little bit warmer conditions right on in through the area between Mexico and Cuba. That little warm spot into that area is part of that loop current that I was talking about, and it's already in the low to nearly the mid 80s. That's not the worst part of it, though. Looking off to the Pacific, the good news in and of itself is that El Nino developing here can cause a shift in patterns in the Atlantic. And this over here, this warming of the waters of the Eastern Pacific, could cause a potential drop in the activity in the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean. But this is also, and the word super is in quotes, that is something that we can't confirm right now. There are signs that it's heading that way, but we can't really say that it's going to be quote-unquote super strong until we get into June and beyond. Then we will know for certain what is coming through. We know from what it looks like just on the surface, so to speak, that it is heading for an extremely warm, as in hasn't happened in decades type situation. If that happens, it may reduce the amount of storms in and around portions of the Atlantic, but it also might uptick the possibility of storms developing into and around the eastern Pacific. Matter of fact, in the next about 2 weeks, early part of June, the Climate Prediction Center is showing a very good uptick west of Central America, south of Mexico, and Baja, and this is where we could see a pretty strong uptick in the potential of a development of more tropical storms out there. It lessens a bit as we go into mid-June, but it's still there, and we're not looking at anything right now into the areas of the Atlantic, the Caribbean, and the Gulf, so good news on that. One thing I wanted to remind everybody about, we've gotten some pretty good amounts of rainfall, and that's great, but it is still National Wildfire Awareness Month, and if you want to find out more about what we all can do to prevent wildfires and stay safe from them, you can check out the National Interagency Fire Center at nifc.gov if you would like to take a further look at what you can do out there to prevent wildfires. Pretty calm surface of Lake Chickamauga, pretty much like glass around the area of Island Cove Marina and Resort tonight. Not much of anything really to report at this time in the way of breezy winds. Again, it's going to be pretty quiet into overnight. But if you notice again, the precipitation markers here stays well above 50% into the weekend. May to June 1st on Monday, that's when hurricane season begins. That is where we will see the best potential of showers and thunderstorms diminishing. And then next week, Wednesday, there is a good possibility that we may not see anything at least worthwhile, maybe a scattered chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. But right now, I have taken the positive approach and taken this out of the forecast for next Wednesday. So yes, there is the potential of some drier weather. It's just going to take better part of a week to actually get here. So for right now, I just don't see too much taking place in the way of problems where it comes to anything involving huge amounts of rainfall out there. But it does look like the potential that we may see a slowing of precipitation across the area. Pardon this for a second. I lost the data. There we go, getting that back. And that is where we see that potential for, again, less in the way of showers and thunderstorms taking place. Again, hopefully it works that way, but we'll see what we are able to wind up with on that. Taking a look real quick at our poll of the day. If you'd like to take a look at our polls that are available, all you have to do is go to WDEF.com/vote now. Question of the day was the cozy and safe feeling you may get when you are inside while a storm is raging on the outside. What is that called? Indoorsism, shelterism, or chrysalism? The answer is actually chrysalism, like being like a butterfly chrysalis wrapped up nice and tight. That is the correct and the most popular answer on our Williams Plumbing poll of the day. And you can see our other voting at WDEF.com/vote now if you'd like to take a look at that. And thanks to everybody for participating in our poll of the day. And please participate in our other polls there. Taking a look at some of the data we were talking about earlier. News 12 viewer on Facebook, Mark Simpson, asking about our drought conditions. This is the latest update that we had from a week ago Thursday. So this is as accurate as we can get. This is the latest information, even though it's about a week old or so. What this is showing, again, is a 4 out of 5 extreme drought situation across much of the News 12 viewing area. We have gotten several days worth of rainfall. Whether or not this lessens the impact, we'll have to wait until tomorrow. That's when the drought monitor updates. So we'll bring you more details on that as we are able to get them into the next couple of days. So stay tuned for more there. Don't forget about Chip Chapman. He's got your forecast coming up on the morning show. That'll be starting bright and early at 5 a.m. And as of right now, maybe not be totally rainy, but I would take the rain gear with you, and I would allow for some extra time to get to where you're going, just to be on the safe side, because the roadways may be kind of soggy out there as well. Let's take a look at our timer here for a second. Not too bad. We've been on for about 20 minutes tonight. That's not bad for a night where there's little, if anything, going on. Excuse me. If you have any questions, again, please drop them into the comments section. Or if you want to, again, email me. It's down underneath the social media bar there, aonek@wdef.com. And that's also where, again, you can reach any of us here at News 12 through our website. Forecast available, wdef.com/weather. Glad to have you along. And if there's some sort of event or something out there that your organization would like us to cover, and we are able to do so, we'd like to be able to know about it, but please let us know well in advance, ahead of time, to make certain that everybody knows a little bit more about what's going on and where. That should do it for tonight. Again, Chip is on in the morning with your complete forecast, and of course I'll have more coming up on Thursday evening. Plenty going on here. We'll keep you updated. News, weather, sports, and community events, so stay tuned for that. And of course, keep up to date with us on all of our social media pages there. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee on a Wednesday evening, I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Thank you very much for joining us for the midweek presentation of Weather Overtime, and we'll talk to you again on Thursday.